My twin brother pretended I was dead for a decade until he saw my name on the wall of a world-renowned tech incubator. Growing up, Liam and I were inseparable. As identical twins, we shared everything: a room, friends, even a secret language. Our parents called us a unit. I was a quieter one, always tinker with old radios and computers in the garage, while Liam was a charismatic leader, the star of every school play and soccer match. He protected me from bullies, and I helped him with his science homework. We dreamed of moving to Silicon Valley together and starting a company. Our bond felt unbreakable, a fortress against the world. Everything began to shift the summer we turned 18. We both applied to the same prestigious engineering program at a top West Coast university. Liam's application was a masterpiece, packed with leadership roles, volunteer work, and sparkling recommendations. Mine was more modest, focused on the few coding competitions I'd won and the rudimentary apps I'd built. The acceptance letters arrived on the same day. Liam's was a thick envelope, bursting with welcome packets. Mine was a single, thin sheet, a rejection. The look on Liam's face wasn't sympathy. It was something closer to embarrassment. "It's okay, Alex," he'd said, patting my shoulder like I was a dog that had failed a trick. "Not everyone is cut out for that kind of pressure. You'll find your path." His words, meant to comfort, felt like a life sentence. He was heading for the bright lights, and I was staying behind in our small Midwestern town. While Liam prepared for his cross-country move, I enrolled at the local regional campus of a state university. It was a humble place, mostly commuter students and night classes, but their computer science department had a dedicated, if underfunded, professor who saw my potential. The gap between my brother and me widened into a chasm within months. When he came home for Thanksgiving, he was a different person. He spoke with a new, affected cadence, wore branded clothing he couldn't really afford, and dropped names of professors and companies I'd only read about online. He regaled our parents with tales of his brilliant classmates and his ambitious plans. When they asked about me, he'd answer for me. "Alex is keeping things local, right? Getting a steady, practical degree." He said practical like it meant mediocre. The condescension was a slow-acting poison. At family gatherings, he'd steer conversations away from my projects. If I mentioned a coding problem I was solving, he'd smile indulgently and say, "That's cute. We covered that in, week 2 at my school." He stopped introducing me as his twin. To his new girlfriend, visiting over Christmas, he said, "This is Alex. We grew up together." The erasure was so casual, so complete, it stole the air from my lungs. I confronted him once, in the garage where we'd built our childhood dreams. He didn't even get angry. He just looked at me with genuine bafflement. "I'm not trying to hurt you," he said, "but we're moving in different circles now. You have to see that. I'm around future CEOs, inventors. It's just a different league. I can't keep explaining my life to you." The final, brutal cut came during his graduation trip. He and a group of his college friends were touring Europe before starting their high-powered jobs. Our parents, so proud of him, funded part of it. As a gesture of family unity, they insisted he invite me along for the first leg, to London. I knew it was a mistake, but a desperate, lonely part of me hoped I could still find my brother in there somewhere. I was a fish out of water from the moment I landed. His friends were polished, discussing hedge funds and skiing in Gstaad. I was quiet, overwhelmed, and still wearing jeans that were 2 years old. One night, at a notoriously exclusive club Liam had somehow gotten us into, the pressure cracked me. Feeling like a ghost of my own brother's life, I drank too much, too fast. In a crowded corner, while trying to slide past a waiter, I lost my balance. I didn't fall, but my elbow jarred the waiter's tray, sending a cascade of champagne flutes onto one of Liam's friends, a young woman named Serena in a sleek, silver dress. The chaos was instantaneous. Serena shrieked. The dress, she wept, was a borrowed designer piece, worth more than my car. I was mortified, apologizing profusely, offering to pay for cleaning for anything. But Liam's reaction was what truly shattered me. He didn't check if I was okay. He didn't help calm his friend. He looked at me, soaked in shame and cheap beer, and his face contorted in pure disgust. In front of his laughing, smirking friends, he spoke with a cold, clear venom I'd never heard before. "You are a constant, humiliating disappointment," he hissed, his voice low enough that only our immediate circle could hear, but every syllable lashed like a whip. "I should have known you'd find a way to ruin this. You ruin everything you touch. Just go home. Stop trying to be part of a world you'll never belong in." He then turned to Serena, his voice switching to a soothing, apologetic tone. "I am so sorry. He's not really, he's just a kid from back home. I'll take care of everything." I flew home the next morning, a shell of a person. The following weeks were a blur of silent tears in my childhood room. Liam returned to the U.S., but not to our home. He moved directly to San Francisco for his new job. He blocked my number. He removed me from all social media. When our mother tried to intervene, he was chillingly final. "He's dead to me," he told her. "And if you keep pushing, you'll be dead to me too. I can't have that anchor holding me back." For 3 years, my own brother maintained the fiction of my non-existence. My parents, torn and heartbroken, tried to maintain a relationship with both of us, which meant separate holidays, split birthdays, and a cavernous silence where our family used to be. I honored Liam's wishes. I disappeared from his life. I poured every ounce of my pain, my anger, and my focus into my work. That work was a cybersecurity algorithm I developed in a lab at my regional campus. My devoted professor connected me with a small, hungry startup in Chicago. We refined the concept, and to our shock, it took off. It turned out my practical education had given me a grounded, problem-solving approach that was highly marketable. The startup was acquired. I became a partner in a new venture, then founded my own firm. My algorithm for detecting sophisticated financial fraud became industry standard. By 27, I was successful in a way I'd never dreamed. Not for the money, but for quiet, solid respect I'd earned. I bought my parents a new house. I settled in a stylish loft in Chicago's West Loop. But the ghost of my brother haunted me. My mother, her hair grayer with each passing year of our family's fracture, never stopped hoping. Last month, she called, her voice trembling with a fragile hope. "He's asking about you," she whispered. "I think he's changed, Alex. He's coming to a tech conference in Chicago next week. He wants to see you. Please, for me." The plea in her voice undid me. Against every screaming instinct, I agreed. Maybe time had softened him. Maybe success had made him secure enough to remember he had a brother. I decided to meet him at the conference's closing gala, held at a glittering museum downtown. I didn't buy him an expensive gift, but I wore the quiet confidence of my achievements like armor. I spotted him across the room. He looked older, sharper, but still the golden boy. He was holding court, laughing. Then his eyes met mine. The smile didn't just fade. It was wiped clean, replaced by a flicker of shock, then a slow dawning recognition, and finally a hard, cold assessment. He excused himself and walked over. "Alex," he said, not as a greeting, but as a statement of fact. His eyes scanned my suit, my watch, not missing a detail. "Mother said you might show up. I see you clean up okay." The condescension was still there, just wrapped in a newer, sleeker package. "What are you doing here? This is a pretty high-level event." Before I could answer, a man in his 50s, wearing a conference organizer badge, rushed over, beaming. "Alex, there you are. We've been looking everywhere for you. The press wants a few more quotes for the morning wires about your keynote." He clapped me on the back. "Incredible speech today. Truly visionary." Liam's face went perfectly, utterly still. The organizer, noticing him, grinned wider. "Oh, Liam, I didn't know you two knew each other." "Of course, you must. Your brother here is the star of the whole conference." The transformation was instantaneous and grotesque. The ice in Liam's eyes melted into a warm, brotherly twinkle. He threw an arm around my shoulders, pulling me into a side hug that felt like a vice. "Of course we know each other. This is my little brother. I've always been his biggest supporter," he boomed, his voice carrying. People turned to look. "We've been dreaming of this since we were kids in my garage. I taught him everything he knows." I stood rigid, smiling a brittle smile for crowd. Inside, I was screaming. The fraud of it was breathtaking. He chatted easily with the organizer, subtly implying he was a mentor and early investor in my work. When the man left, Liam's grip tightened, and his voice dropped, low and urgent. "We need to talk. Privately. Now." He steered me to a quiet balcony overlooking the city lights. The moment we were alone, the performative warmth vanished. It wasn't replaced by the old contempt, but by a new, frantic energy. "Look, Alex, what happened before, that was a difficult time for me. I was under immense pressure. But this is incredible. We can fix this. We should fix this." "Fix what, Liam?" I asked, my voice flat. "Us. This rift. We're brothers. And now, with your profile and my connections, imagine the synergy." He started painting a picture, a joint venture, brothers in tech, a consulting firm leveraging my genius and his network. He talked about branding, speaking circuits, venture capital. His eyes glittered with dollar signs, not familial love. He wasn't seeing me. He was seeing an asset that had unexpectedly appreciated. "You haven't spoken to me in 10 years, I said quietly. "You told our parents I was dead to you." He waved a hand, physically brushing away the past. "Water under the bridge. We were kids. This is about the future. Our future. Together. I have so many ideas." I left the balcony while he was still talking. He followed me with texts for days, long, rambling messages about business plans, about family duty, about the legacy we could build. I sent one final reply. "The brother I knew died a long time ago. Please don't contact me again." Then I blocked him. For 2 weeks, there was peace. Then the messages started appearing from old high school friends and vague acquaintances. "Heard you and Liam are starting a fund. So exciting. Liam told me about the venture firm. Can I get in on the ground floor?" My blood ran cold. I confronted him via an unblocked email. His response was a masterpiece of gaslighting. He said I was overreacting, that he was just testing the waters for my benefit, and that my refusal to get over ancient history was sabotaging a huge opportunity. He accused me of being selfish, of holding on to a grudge while he was trying to elevate the whole family. He even dragged our weeping mother into it, claiming I was causing her health problems with my stubbornness. I blocked him everywhere again. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. A month later, my father called, his voice heavy with a shame that wasn't his own. "Alex, you need to know. Liam's in trouble. He took money. From people." The story tumbled out. Liam, having hyped our non-existent brothers in tech venture to a circle of wealthy, impressionable friends and former colleagues, had accepted seed investments and consulting retainers. He'd promised massive returns, using my name and reputation as collateral. With no actual business to run, he'd used the money to lease a luxury apartment downtown, lease a high-end car, and maintain the lavish Instagram lifestyle he believed was his birthright. Now the promises were due, the investors were asking questions, and the house of cards was collapsing. He'd blame me publicly, saying I had withdrawn from the project at the last minute, leaving him liable and ruining everything. My father, near tears, said Liam was facing legal threats. Your mother, she thinks you should help. Maybe just a statement. Or, I don't know. I felt a surge of cold, clarifying fury. This wasn't just about hurting me anymore. He was now committing fraud, tarnishing my hard-won name to cover his own lies and insecurities. The anchor he'd accused me of being was, in reality, his own crippling need for validation, and he was willing to sink us both to get it. I called my mother. I didn't let her speak first. Mom, I said, my voice steady as stone. Liam committed a crime. He stole money using my name. The person who needs your sympathy right now isn't him. It's the people he stole from. If you ask me to bail him out, to clean up his mess one more time, you are choosing to enable a criminal over protecting your own son. And that will be the last time we speak. The silence on the line was profound. Then a soft, broken sob. I'm sorry, Alex. I'm so sorry for all of it. So am I said and meant it. I wasn't sorry for my choices, but for the beautiful, imaginary brother I'd lost long ago. I hired a lawyer. We sent cease and desist letters to Liam and a clarifying legal notice to every individual we could identify who had been solicited for money. I made it unequivocally clear I had no business relationship with my brother and had not authorized the use of my name. I detached myself completely. The fallout was to bear. I heard through the grapevine he lost his job, his apartment, and what was left of his reputation. There were likely legal consequences. But I didn't follow them. My energy was no longer his to consume. The final chapter of our story was written not with reconciliation, but with a quiet, permanent separation. The twin bond, once my greatest source of strength, was revealed to be a fragile myth, shattered by his jealousy and cemented by my refusal to be used. I found my family elsewhere, in loyal friends, in a partner who valued me for my character, not my contacts, and in a peace that came from finally, fully, leaving my brother's shadow behind. I built my life not as a reaction to him, but as a monument to the person I discovered when he was no longer there to define me, and in that, I found a success far deeper than any algorithm could ever provide.